Want to learn how to make 10K a week designing stuff and making them and selling them online with your laser? Well, this is not the video for you. You're watching Fowler Extra, my extra channel. I'm Zachary Fowler, and we're gonna design and make some of these on the laser. I sell them on my website. Well, we are now because we're making them and selling them there. We used to sell the Chimera. We haven't made it for a long time. We're gonna start making these again. I'll show you how I make these signature pouches that are super state-of-the-art. And yeah, let's do this. We make a lot of cool stuff with this laser. We engrave the shovel handles for my shovel that we sell on the website. We do the pucks, the little teeny survival fishing kits, and I feel like we do more than that. Oh, other slingshot band pouches that we do, and you can't cut slingshot bands themselves. They get all gummy and weird if you try to cut them. And it's been a while since we've done the Chimera pouches, but I have also 3 other designs. So we're gonna do the Ogre, the new Imp one, and the Kanga. And I'll show you how we make those. It's kind of neat. This laser thing is really cool. Oh, of course, the coolest thing we've ever built with the laser though is the sling rifle. Safety squint when you draw it. And go get right close. Here you go. And I'm getting all this done now because I'm heading to the East Coast Slingshot Tournament. And I want to make sure I have a bunch of new pouches for everybody to play around with. And then I'm also going to bring the sling rifle with me, and I'm going to actually shoot the competition with the sling rifle.
It's completely unfair.
Probably not at the same time. Like I'll do it like officially with my Sparrow. Maybe this time's East Coast Slingshot Tournament video will be Sparrow versus the sling rifle. So after I've already shot the whole tournament officially, maybe I'll go back around and shoot it with the sling rifle and see if I can't beat my own score. But now, we're just about to do a test sprint. Let's see if this is gonna work. We got our pouches there, hit print. So for the test print, I'm putting them all onto this scrap of kangaroo hide. I think I overcut them. They got a little bit charred because it cut through in the first pass, but then it kept cutting. So that'll be our Kanga. We just gotta set it up to engrave the signature on it here. Or I think they're gonna have mischief on all the pouches. These 3 will all be, actually I don't know if that one's gonna be laminated, but the Chimera is, and the Ogre is gonna be laminated. Let's go check on those sizes. So these are a lot of the pouches I've shot over the years. I've gone through so many more pouches than are here, but these are just the ones that I had saved downstairs when we were on my kitchen wall, when I was all about saving everything all the time and like showing, like, oh, displaying it all there. And from the beginning here, I think this is one of my first pouches, and you can see when I was talking about the leather, that a good kangaroo pouch will hold its shape a lot longer and it won't get destroyed. So this is a kangaroo pouch here that I used for, I don't even know how long, forever, for the longest time. And it finally broke. But like this one, after just one afternoon of shooting, it got all stretched out and it came apart. And I think this is one of the ones that SimpleShot sold back in the day. Don't hold me to it. They make really great pouches. You know, most people have moved to the microfiber now and stuff because they don't stretch too much unless you make a mistake and you cut your pouch in the wrong direction, because microfiber in one direction stretches and the other direction is very stiff, just like the kangaroo hide. And then there was these Warrior Viking pouches, and that's where I started getting into the laminated pouches, and they're so much tougher. And some people don't like them. They like a leather because it forms a kind of a pocket around your slingshot ammo, which is cool. I like mine not to do that though. That's why I started really liking his seal pouches that Warrior was making, because it makes just a little bit of a spot where it holds ammo good because of the softness of the microfiber, but that cut inset, laser cut dimple, or in his case, a die cut dimple creates that pocket. And the way the pouch is very stiff, it makes it spring open. I felt like it made my shots more consistent, and with my grip and my draw the way it is, it allowed me to do it really well. And the only other pouch that is really extremely different that I have on this wall at least is this N8 from GZK. This thing is really cool. I'll pull it off so I can show you. So this N8 is very different because right there it has these weird little fingers, rubber fingers, and so when you put the ammo in there, it holds it like that, very, very centered, so you create that consistency. And you can see there, it's a very small pouch, and that holds 3/8 ammo really well. Maybe, I don't know, a couple millimeters smaller, it would hold those as well. And that gives you that consistency when that ammo is in there and it comes out of the pouch each time, that it's exactly in the same spot. And I felt like it was a very accurate pouch. And I don't know why, but I don't see them being sold anymore. So that's my last one. I think we need to stretch that one a little bit. This is a little bit short. Should be a little bigger. That's one of my chimeras from last year. We haven't made them since last year, so I just wanted to make sure. And I think we were making them on their other laser last year. So we want to make sure they're still cut the same. I was kind of going for something like these guys here. I think I'm gonna go a little bigger. This is just one of the imp here. So I'm just comparing it against other people's BB pouches and or slightly large. I think I want something halfway in between. So we're gonna stretch that a bit too. Let's go have Matt stretch these. So I think that one's okay. I think this one, we wanna make this a little bit longer, so those holes kind of line up as far as that lengthwise, and maybe narrow it up a little bit. It should be 3.5 from here to there. Right now it's not almost 3.5 to the tips. So whatever that inset is, I guess.
Okay.
You know, I don't know.
So if we did like, let's say like a box like this.
Yeah, make it 3.5.
Like this thing, instead of being
kind of. So we're just waiting on Matt. He's doing his thing from upstairs. As you can see on the screen, it's like doing things and I'm not even touching it. Those look like they came out wrong. I don't know what we did wrong there, but something did not translate through. That is way, way too small. This is supposed to be 3.5, and it's, yeah, it's like an inch, almost an inch short. It is a cool looking pouch though. I do like that. Besides, we might have to do a second one that's not the ogre, but
Baby ogre.
Baby ogre. Yes, baby ogre. We'd call it baby. We can't call it baby Yoda, but that would be pretty classy if it could be a baby Yoda pouch, but we'll have to call it baby yogurt.
Yogurt! Hello, boys!
Three and a half. There, yep, that came out just right. And that one looks good, and I like the size of the imp much better when it's that size. So somebody could shoot 3/8 out of that, I feel like, if they wanted a small little pouch, or they could shoot, well, you can't quite shoot a BB, because it would probably go right through that. But I think for somebody that wants a super tiny, that's obsessed with tiny pouches, that's a good little pouch. Okay, so we got our materials. Matt's duplicating that and making a full sheet pattern to go onto the laser. And while we're doing that, we're going to prepare the chimera material, which is like I was telling you before, we got our waterproof canvas material. And I like this better than the Warrior ones from before with that rubbery stuff. At first, they were very kind of sticky and stuck to your finger good. But this has a texture that kind of almost like if you shoot without building up a callus, it can kind of wear at your finger a little bit. So it takes consistent shooting daily. You'd have to shoot a lot to like make your fingers bleed. But I have a callus from shooting right here from where it sits on my finger. My thumb pinches it and I draw back. And this texturiness makes it feel like it makes it lock in place for me. So I really like the way these things turned out in the end. So what we do to prep this is first I sand this material, and then we're gonna put some glue. I won't show you what glue, because that's one part of our secret sauce here. You can laminate up yourself some stuff, but we have a special secret sauce I use for the glue, which is a contact cement, but not just any contact cement works. So you gotta figure that out on your own if you wanna make your own pouches. Other than that, I'll tell you everything we're doing. And then we'll spray that on there. So let's sand it up and then glue up this to this. But I also have to, I almost forgot this step. The laser doesn't like to cut it and won't be consistent if I don't flatten this out first. Really shouldn't be that big of a deal. So I know I teased everybody in the thumbnail and at the beginning of the video saying, you know, 10K a week and all that, and that was just kind of a bit of a joke, but in reality we do make quite a bit every year. Maybe not with the slingshot pouches just alone, but with all the other stuff that we make on the laser. But this laser has paid for itself at least 20 times over with all the stuff that we've made on this. That gets all of the whatever is on there that keeps it from sticking when you put the, kind of like roughing up the waterproofing, which this side has on. So, I mean, the waterproofing repels water. We don't want it to repel our glue. I don't want it to move around too much because I don't want to get glue on the other side. I'm very meticulous about this step because I want it glued everywhere. It's got to be on both pieces and it's got to be just right, because I'm going to cut a whole bunch of pouches and I don't want them to fail. That was one of my bigger complaints about the Warrior pouches, is they were so nice at times, but then these seal ones were so waterproof that like they would fail before your bands failed sometimes. Not often, but often enough that it was annoying. You start shooting and then it would be delaminated. Like 50% of the time I felt like, more often than not. And it looked like when they came apart, like the material wasn't sanded in between or something. If the material itself would just repelled the glue so much, it just made it hard to make them. It was really annoying. And so far I've used a lot of these pouches on 3 different band sets, because once you're using one that you like and it's wore in, unlike these, the Chimeras, I found like I've used them on 3 different band sets at a time before I retired them, and they take almost nothing to break in, but just 5 or 6 shots, and then they're good until I start to feel like they're too smooth on the outside after, like, you know, tying it onto 3 different band sets, which is a lot of value for a pouch. Usually 1 band set, 1 pouch sometimes, but it's nice to be able to get multiple band sets, because sometimes you go out there and, you know, when you're spending like a couple bucks a pouch, it can, and you shoot for a whole day and you wear through a band set, you don't want to make that last more than 1 day. That's heavy shooting, like a competition type thing though. Like that's like a lot of shooting. You don't want to get the pouch wore in and have it just the way you want it and have it delaminate or your bands break and you can't put it onto a new set of bands, because the latex, you never know. Sometimes they'll break after 100 shots, sometimes they break after a couple thousands of shots. Especially during competition. When you got things the way you like them, you don't want it to mess up on you. Well, right after you stick it on, you got a little bit of leeway where if there's not a big crease, which there isn't, we're good to go. First I'll just back and forth and just make sure there's somebody stuck. Alright, now it's just a matter of working it like this for about 2 hours. Just kidding. No, I just work it for like a couple minutes like this on both sides, back and forth. not even a couple minutes. Just work it like this for about a minute on one side, go in both directions, and then flip it over, and she's ready to go. Alright, now after I'm done rolling it, I'm gonna let it sit overnight because I don't want to cut them while they're still, the glue is still curing and things. Alright, there is the chimeras all laminated up, and tomorrow morning I'll cut those. Ooh, that's hot. Alright, here's our first run of imps. There we go, all lined up. Full power. Let's see if it cuts all the way through, because if it doesn't cut all the way through, then I have to go back and hand trim all of them, and it defeats the purpose of having a highly efficient laser.
You know, I have one simple request, and that is to have sharks with frickin' laser beams attached to their heads.
And that's why we did a test cut. Didn't cut through. We need to up our power or slow down our speed. Several test prints later, we have it just about dialed in. Not everything is difficult as this, especially if you use the GlowForge and their materials. It works perfectly with their materials. It cuts the right depth each time. You introduce your own materials, and then you got to figure it out yourself as to how deep. And not all materials are as finicky as this. Like if I was doing a little wooden cutout thing, like when I made my ice fishing jig, you know, I would just I just printed again the exact same thing. It would right on top, and then it would cut out the second time around. But with this, I don't want to burn it and melt it too much and mess it all up. There's a certain balance there. So to keep the line as fine of a cut as possible, I'm going to go with faster and do 2 passes. That way the line will be finer, still at full power, but 2 passes, it will melt less. There it is. That's the one. 2 passes. There's the first imps. Those are 2 beautiful, beautiful imps right there. How hard is it going to be to center that perfectly? There we go. I overdid it a little bit. The Mischief logo for the pouches. Boom. 2 imps ready to rock and roll for somebody. Now we just got to make a million more. Alright, first run. Not too shabby. I guess let's see, we had a couple problem ones here that got maybe popped up and the laser bumped it. This one jumped up and got messed up or something because it popped up. So we'll have to quality check them, but for the most part, it looks like they all popped out just fine. Cut good, clean, and we'll pull these out of here and stamp them. 3% loss in a couple of these that got to get chucked after quality check, and that's quite a few, so that's a good turnout. After the glue up of the Chimera, I set that to the side and I went and I glued up some of these for the ogres. I just used some thinner brown and thinner green. Not super bright green like Shrek, but ogre enough for us. It went really quickly, just like gluing up the Chimeras, and I had them into the laser and cutting in no time. The only hard part with making each of these is it takes a lot of little test runs to get the right amount of cut speed and the amount of power of the laser. because it's not a certified material that comes with the GlowForge, but that's just a matter of a couple little test pieces and then the laser is off and away, cutting out all the pouches I could ever need. The cool aspect of all this is, like with the GlowForge, you can start your own small business, and if you're not doing slingshot pouches, there's a million other things out there you can do. Imp pouches. Might have to make a longer label for that one. I don't want to staple it here because then we rip off the label and they lose it. And it looks, I don't know. It's nice to be able to keep the bag with pouches till you're ready. And Chimera is ready to go. Alright, there we go. There's the last of them. I stayed up late printing all of them. The only ones that didn't print right last night were the Kangas, and they didn't want to print, and we found that it was such a detailed print with the cutting these into it and everything that we just had to readjust our pattern. Now we just gotta bag them, tag them, and we can take them to the slingshot tournament, and I'll rig up a couple and let's give them a try.
Oh, man. There, baby. Couple of testers. Look at a rock. Hits a hammer every once in a while.
Yeah. Makes it bang nice. Oh.
Now, this is actually, it's 13-inch band. 0.4. Oh!
Looking good?
As good as not a little bit rusty tying on 13-inch bands, but I think you
Looks like it looks
it's
good.
a little short, but
It's a little short. Well, the
don't
way
know.
I shoot like
scares
this,
me
though.
to stretch it. Oh, yeah, I forget you go
remember, so
inside.
I'm not doing full butterfly.
Oh, yeah, you go in.
All right, we're going to try out. Chris tied on the Imp for me to one of these, I don't know, GZK slingshots here we got. I like this one. So he's got the Kanga because it's made out of kangaroo.
Ah,
You get it?
I see.
It might be a little stiff, so it tends to need to wear in. I'm gonna try 3/8 with this.
You're shooting 3/8?
Yeah.
Different.
Oh, well, because you tied on the Imp, which is definitely not going to fit 7/16. So that's 3/8 and less pouch, and this light 0.4 band. Wow, I might have to switch this for the competition.
You like it?
Well, you know what? The other thing too is if I go to the World Cup someday, you have to shoot small ammo, which is even smaller than the 3/8. So. This thing is laser. This little Imp pouch.
There we go.
There you go. Which one do you like better?
Oh, this all day, the Imp. I'm not trying to be biased
Well,
to that frame.
pouch-wise.
Pouch-wise, I love them both, so I'm not going to judge
okay.
there, but the frame is just throwing me off.
Yeah,
so
me
I
too.
can't get a
This-
good
This frame's weird. The bands are too short for me. We just threw this together just so we could test out the pouches. I'm loving how these turned out.
But I feel like that kangaroo pouch will last forever. Like,
Oh yeah, every time, that's the thing about the kangaroo, it's like it lasts so much.
Hundreds to maybe.
I can't hit anything with this. Let's go do the rock. We're gonna go do the rock chuckers.
One more shot.
Do a can race.
That sounds good.
Nailed it. Now see, once you get into it with that one,
No, I love
that
it.
light draw, it's like,
This is how I started shooting. Because
yeah,
of the full draw.
laser accurate, that thing, once you get going.
I like it.
All right, we gotta pack the ammo.
The imp and the kanga you're calling these? Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm gonna bring the imp with me.
Oh, yeah.
I might shoot some more of that at the slingshot tournament. And let's do a can race, and then we gotta head out to the slingshot tournament.
Time to hit the road.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get rocks.
You get a money shot of the beautiful new truck now with the stickers. Like it looks so sharp.
Sweet. The orange actually goes really well with the.
Yeah. The trees blend in, but I kind of like that. Like they're like kind of nice. You almost like. Yeah. Good luck. We went through this the other day with that video. No good round stones.
Okay. Can't be too big. Just get some.
So after the last video on my main channel, we talked about rock chucking.
Warning. Rock chucking is dangerous and can cause self-harm and harm to others. Try at your own risk.
You know, this is a rock chucker pouch. That's what we want. That's what you want for chucking rock. Something big that fully encapsulates the rock properly. And then when it comes to shooting rocks, you want to make sure you put it in there right. You don't want to put it in there weird like this and the pouch ends up sideways, because that'll make it hair off to one direction, bounce off the frame, things like that. And that's why I like these Scouts. Kind of the best for rock chucking outside of a giant natural fork. That's probably the best one, like a big natural fork and big bands like this for rock chucking. So if the rock is most likely always going to have some sort of a flat, I always try to put it into the middle like this. You sandwich her right in there so she's tucked into the pouch nice and evenly. You're just trying to grab just the rock and a nice smooth release. And I like to shoot these with a bit of a flick, because then it gets my hand out of the way. So that takes a little bit of combination of practice, because you can just as easily make that go worse for you by shooting it with a flick and flicking the rock into your hand. Get set, game on! Oh, almost all the way across in one. No.
Yes, roll back.
No, not to the...
This could be tough.
Slow reload. Start. I'm on the right.
Which one? Yes.
Oh,
man.
what was that, 4 shots? The rocks are so much...
Oh, frame hit.
The rocks are so much more lethal than
They have some walls.
the clay, aren't they? Like, I feel like with the clay, we've done 20 or 30 shots.
Oh, it takes forever.
And to get them across.
Oh,
Nice.
so close to the
so
line.
close.
That was good shooting though. I mean, what did you say you got yours in? 4 shots?
Yeah, I think it was 4 shots. I missed one. It rolled back.
go
Second
recollect.
one, put it in the middle.
You want to do one more quick round?
All right. Get set. Go. Oh, I hit it and it didn't go anywhere.
Okay.
All right, game off. Game on.
Oh, man,
2
that's what I
shots.
need to do.
2 shots.
Nice job, man.
2 shots. All right, one more little test. Can out of the air. Boom! I love slingshots. That was enough for us. That was pretty fun. We're headed off to the slingshot tournament. So we'll see you guys in the next video. Fowler and Chris with me, out. Yeah, we're gonna be making an East Coast slingshot tournament video, so stay tuned.